Johnny, say something. I can't hear you, dude. What the hell? That's weird. I'm trying to think of what that could possibly be. I can't even hear. If you go back into the studio, do me a favor. I think I can talk you through this. This has happened to me once before. Go into your settings. Go into your settings and go to. See if I can do it. You should be able to go into audio, and then if you speak into your mic, make sure the green lights are lighting up, and then test it. And then make sure everything else looks okay. Like I always have echo cancellation on, and I turn off automatically adjust mic volume. I got you now. I hear you clicking. I just heard you clicking and then you went away. That's weird. What were you just doing?
I just hit the automatically adjust mic volume, turning it on.
Oh, really? All right, leave it there because I can hear you now.
That's
leave
so
it.
weird.
Okay, yeah, leave it there.
No. What's up, Jason? Jason Meister.
I went to the other chat and there was nobody there. I was like, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to close it out completely.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
We're back, folks. And I'm just a little bit more buzzed than I was last time you saw me 2 minutes ago. Yeah,
so
man,
you're talking about your video to get a free Challenger and 150 grand.
I'm having second thoughts. I should have never sent that video. Yeah. I don't want to be on their radar at all. and that's, to be honest with you, Blake's probably going to kill me if he ever hears it. That's why I pushed it to the last minute, because I really was debating whether or not I wanted to send it. And then I send it, and I know my wife thinks it sucks. And she reiterated what I had been thinking the whole time. And that's, well, I sure hope that they like you and they don't go, oh no, let's listen to some of his stuff and see what he's talking about. And then they hear some of the disparaging stuff that I've said because I disagree with some of the business decisions they're making. Now, if they did, obviously they're not going to, let's get that straight. If they did choose me, I would be as good of an ambassador as I could be. And I would definitely represent the brand, but I'm not a yes man. If they invite, because you're supposed to get invited to Detroit to look at what they're working on. If they're working on some bullshit, I'm going to go, hey, they ain't going to like that. They ain't gonna like that. What are you doing? I'm not going to hold back. I want to be the voice of the people. I want to reach out to my audience and say, hey, what do you think they should do? And then if they give me a chance to tell them what I've heard, I will tell them.
Right.
But
right.
I don't think it's about that. I think, to be honest, like, I really hope they pick somebody that's good and not just a pretty face. And that's not saying that some of those girls aren't really smart when it comes to Mopars. I know they are. And if that's what they are going for, I hope they pick the right one.
Right.
And then with the guys, like, I feel bad because it's like, they said, I heard an interview with one of the guys and from Dodge. And he was like, look, we're not looking for a pretty face. We're not looking for and I'm like, bullshit, man, come on. You're going to look for somebody that's, at least presents well on camera, So, I mean, and the whole Mopar enthusiast thing, I would like to know how far they want to take that, because there's some people on there that I'm like, yeah, I mean, they might be good on the camera, but do they really, are Mopar enthusiasts going to buy that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me, it'd be any one of my friends. Like, I would get a group of Mopar enthusiasts if I was Dodge, and I'd say, look, you're not going to get 150 grand a piece, but we're going to fly you out to some event. Like, the Motley Crew of Mopars would be perfect.
Yeah.
But I really think that they could either really do something fun or they could really mess it up. So I hope they don't mess it up, because they will look like a complete joke if they choose, either some guy named Rick with the 6-pack who's easy on the eyes to the ladies, or they choose, Lisa so-and-so from, whoever, because she's easy on the eyes,
right.
Because we're going to see through any BS they try to throw at us. I'll tell you that.
And it goes back to your authenticity point.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because people can see through that shit, I think,
They can.
if you're not authentic, they're going to see it and they're going to call you out on it big time. But then again, they got to balance it with, it's just like when you're trying to do content on YouTube and you're trying to, like, will it run videos? I mean, they sell, people eat them up. So you want to do what people are going to buy, or go after. So if they're easy on the eyes, and that's definitely going to play a role, I think. I don't think
think
you have
so.
much choice.
I really think so. Let me just say this. If I do get chosen, which I won't, but if I do, and I make
And
it,
we know it's not that.
we know it's not that for sure. For sure. But I can honestly say that if I sniff out any BS, I'm gone. And I will flat out go, see you. Nice knowing you guys. Check out my podcast. It's no longer calling Talking Mopars. I'll save you the trouble. Jason, what kind of merch you want us to bring to Vegas? T-shirts and stuff or what? I think we can get some stickers and stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we can get a table, Johnny. I haven't really talked to Phil about it yet, but I'm gonna see if we can get some sort of a table or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it'll entail, but probably I'll park my rental. You can park the truck.
Yeah.
And we'll keep our stuff nice and secure. But when we're there, we can just hang out, maybe even do lives or whatever. Because if you're going out there and you're driving out there, do you have an Easy Up or is that something we can buy and just have you take with you?
Yeah, I don't have one, but yeah.
All right, we'll figure something out. Out. The time's clicking away, dude. It's almost Vegas time, dude.
This month.
Yeah, that's crazy. Month. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a good time, man. I'm excited. Some of our friends are gonna show up, dude. I've heard a couple people. Irvin, Tad, I'm sure some other people. Yeah, Jason Meister. Cool. Yeah.
I look forward to just putting around in the truck. I was thinking I got to work on that thing this weekend a little bit. See if I can get it's running a little bit rich still. See if I can get that a little bit more fine-tuned and behaving.
I feel like a complete asshole because I forgot to pay my insurance premium for the truck. So now I have to go back through the whole insurance process, reinsure the truck. Because I had it insured through Haggerty. And, I'm not saying anything bad about Haggerty, but it was pretty expensive for the extent I was using the truck. But I also had it valued where I thought I would feel okay if something bad happened to it. I wouldn't cry too hard. But at the same time, I'm like, gosh, I don't know. Maybe there's a cheaper option. But I need to get that back up. And then my license plates or my registration expired. So I was going to get collector plates. And the lady's like, well, when did they expire? And I said, I think earlier this month. And she goes, oh, that's too bad. I think, or she said, that's too bad. You could have saved some money if you would have re-upped before they expired. And I was like, shit. And I looked and it expired by like 2 days. So I couldn't get the deal because I wanted a collector plate because I hate taking pictures of my license plate. But I wanted a collector plate so I could put a vanity plate on the front, like a direct connection plate or something like that.
Yeah.
But now I have to get all that. Now it's like, it's going to cost me probably $500 to get the truck back on the road just for legalities. I'm like, shit.
I know here, if you let your insurance lapse, your insurance company rats you out to DMV, and then DMV is like, you got to show proof of insurance. You got to be on top of it. If you let it drag out, and it's easy to do on a car you're not driving daily, right?
Yeah.
Let it drag out, then you go into like this purgatory where DMV puts you into this other category where you have to show proof of insurance. And until you do, your registration is suspended. So you can't drive the vehicle, right? So you go, okay, so you got to go back to your insurance company, get the insurance re-upped. You go, okay, I got proof of insurance. You guys ratted me out to DMV. You should be able to call them up and say, hey, everything's cool and everything gets fixed, right? No.
Man.
No, you got to go to DMV and handle that shit.
And then so messed up.
Yeah, and then you can't even, I don't know, I haven't had it happen in a long time, so I don't know if it's still like this, but you can't even go into DMV and have it rectified. they say, "Oh no, your insurance has been suspended. You can't even call this other department. You have to fax or
Man.
it was email or something, this other department. You got to scan in your proof of insurance, send it to them. You're not actually talking to anybody, and you just kind of hope that everything gets taken care of and you're reinstated. And then you wait for the
Wow.
letter to show up. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's freaking ridiculous.
Have I talked to you about the thing I found about getting a title when you don't
No.
have a title and what? Oh my God, Johnny, I'm probably blowing a hole. I'm gonna reach out to this company and see if they want to sponsor my show.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at some of these cars that have no titles, including the one I'm gonna buy,
Okay.
and uh, the one with no VIN numbers is a different situation. So we'll just
Sure.
go ahead, skip over that one. That one can be done. It's just gonna be a little bit more difficult, but if you're in a state that requires a title and you do not have a title, there is a company, and because they don't pay me, I won't say them now. But if you reach out to me through a PM, I'll tell you. But they will. So there is a state, and if you just do the research, you can find this anywhere, and it's easy. Anybody can do it. You don't have to pay a large fee that some of these places charge. I was quoted $900. I was quoted $600, and then I realized, if they know, it's not like they have some in with the state. This has to be some sort of information that everybody knows, and they just make it sound difficult, like you can get it faster through them, which is untrue. But I'll give you guys the gist. You can live in, we'll take me for example. I can live in Washington and I can buy a car like the one I'm going to, get a bill of sale, and as long as the car isn't registered stolen, or isn't stolen or has any weird records or anything like that, you should be okay. So take the VIN number of whatever car you're looking at and have it ran at your local department of licensing. Make sure it's clean, no liens, anything like that, right?
Right.
The state of Vermont only requires you to have a bill of sale. Okay. And if the VIN is clean, even if you live out of state, you can register the car in Vermont. And it's like less than $200. So they give you a Vermont registration, and they send you Vermont plates. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then you just take that shit, you throw those on your car, you drive that bitch to your licensing department, go, I'd like to transfer, you know,
I
the
just moved
address and
here.
all this.
I just moved
You
to
don't even have to
Washington.
bullshit. You don't even have to bullshit them. You just say, I just wanted don't give
Yeah.
them too many details. You never know.
Right.
But thankfully around here, there's a couple licensing offices that somehow, some way, shape, or form are involved in local Mopar clubs. Because you go in their office and there's Mopar stuff all over the walls. It's awesome.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every time I go to those ones specifically because they don't give me problems.
We have
But
we have a similar thing here.
really,
Like, yeah, there's a place close by. They're called In and Out, and they're like a DMV.
the burger joint, or
Not no,
No,
not the burger joint,
no.
but they handle all the DMV stuff. And what's nice about going there, my experience, you walk into regular DMV, and you got to have all your ducks in a row. They're very reluctant to tell you like things you can do that can get you where you're trying to go. But
Mhm.
this other place, it's like, okay, what do you need to happen? I need this to happen. Okay, well, you can do it this way. You can do it that way. They give you options, the pros and the cons and stuff. And then they help you do it. And there's usually no line. Also, they're in Lake Elsinore, any
Nice.
locals listening. And surprisingly, California is actually not as strict as you might think. They're pretty,
Really?
yeah, they're pretty bad for a lot of things. But when it comes to that, if I bought a car that doesn't have a title and I got a bill of sale, I'm okay. I don't
Really?
need to go to Vermont. I could just what I have to do is I have to take the car to DMV. They have to do a VIN verification. It costs like $50 or something like that. And they have one of their people come out, and they just basically look at the VIN on the car and look at the VIN that's in the bill of sale. And as long as they match, then you're good. And they'll issue a new title for the car, assuming there's nothing, like you said, like
Yeah.
lien against it, or, bank fees or whatever, stolen, that kind of stuff.
My state makes it a little bit more complicated from what I understand. So I'm trying to avoid any type of Washington state, patrol inspection, not because I think the car is illegal or anything like that. It's just I don't want any extra hassle, because the people that I know that are having a problem with their titles trying to sell cars going, hey, it doesn't have a title. People like me look into it, and then you find out that, oh, to get a Washington State Patrol VIN inspection takes forever because they have no appointments because it's so slammed. So
Jeez.
I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. If it costs me an extra couple $100 or whatever to register it in Vermont, but at the same time, you could just leave the Vermont plates on the damn thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But the thing with Vermont is I believe they give you the registration, and I believe they give you a Vermont title. I'm not quite sure exactly. I have to do a little bit more research on it, but I was looking for a way to streamline the title process so I don't have to wait 3 years for the ownership in doubt BS.
Okay.
But there is a cutoff for the amount of time that they keep records on file. So it could very well be that there's no records on file for anything, and as long as it's not stolen, it's free and clear, and I can get a title eventually. But
yeah.
Whatever the case, this car is a lot better than I was looking at a Challenger. It was a 70 Challenger. My buddy's got it, and he made a mistake. I'm not going to chase after the car because I don't want it that bad.
Okay.
And he ghosted me. Oh. I said, when can I come over? I got the cash. And he ghosted me. And I was like, all right, dude. And then another opportunity came along, and I'm glad it did, because this opportunity is better. I see that Jason Meister asked, what am I buying? Yeah. It's a Mopar, I'll tell you that. It's between the years of 1970 and 1980. It is something that I've wanted in a way. I don't want to reveal what it is quite yet, because the reveal should be a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised, because it's not something I normally would have picked. And I actually think after coming up with the deal and making it happen, almost, we're at like 98%. I just need to hand over the cash and go get it. I'm really happy with the decision I made.
I think you're leaving some content on the table, man. You should be posting a video asking your viewers what they think it'll be. Put it in the comments. Give them that little range of 1970, 1980.
That's true. That's a good idea, Johnny.
That's a good thing for what do you call that? Like the interaction part.
Yeah, engagement. You're right. There you go. I might do that. And I might have to offer a prize for anybody that nails it. But some smart ass that knows what it is might go, maybe it's a blank. And then I'm like, all right, well, shit.
Well, and dude, you can milk it out. You could even do the first video 1970 to 1980. Let's say it's a 75. Yeah. You can start narrowing it in. Like the next day, you could do it again and go, okay, guys, from 1971 to 1979. And so we now know, just keep tightening the range until you get really close. So then people can re-guess, because they were thinking a 70 Challenger. Now they're, okay, now I'm going to, maybe it's a 72 CUDA or something,
Let me, there's a couple interesting facts that I know about these particular cars. One of them I just learned recently. The other one I kind of already knew. But it might be interesting to break it down and then be like, well, this particular car X, this is something. Yeah, clues.
Yeah.
But you would have to do a little bit of research to figure out the answer, unless you're a Mopar guru.
Yeah.
But there's certain things I could say about the car and people would know what it is right away.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful.
Yeah. No, definitely. Well, and even if somebody gets it right, until you're ready to reveal, nobody else is going to know that person is right.
That's true.
So, or you can keep a tally. Maybe everybody that got it right, you keep their name and then do a giveaway on a T-shirt or something.
That's a great idea. I'm writing that down.
So Raker says, I live in Illinois. I think DMV is going to give me shit because the title for my 65 Coronet is a Nevada title from 1973. Wow. That's another thing. Like here in California, if I had a title from 1973, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But somebody from out of state can't register their vehicle in California and get their stuff, right? That's what makes Vermont so cool.
No, you
if
can't.
There's problem.
I think you can. I mean, I don't know if they check your residency. Maybe if they see your address isn't from here, that might be a problem, I guess. But if you're here in California, if I buy a car from out of state, it's the same thing. Even if the car has a title, when you bring it into California, you have to get a VIN verification. So it's the same deal as if you had
I
no
just want to
title to
avoid
begin
that
with.
shit.
Then
I don't want.
it's weird because if you bring, I don't know if it's still like this, but it's a very long time ago. I had a car
Mhm.
that came from out of state, and I had to go get a safety inspection on the car because it came from out of state. But I can pull some rusted out, no brakes, drum, piece of shit out of a field out here, walk into DMV, and if I had a California title, it just say, and even if I didn't have a California title, if I just had a bill of sale, they would give me a pink slip, give me registration here, and I'm good to go. And it's like, really? I shouldn't even say the car came from out of state. I should just throw the plates off of it, write up a bullshit bill of sale, and just say I bought the car here. It's always been a California car, and skip over that whole safety inspection bullshit.
I
So
see. Well, what I can tell you is I had to do a quick Google search because it was bothering me. Now, I want you to tell me if this is the same in California, because this is called the Vermont Loophole.
okay,
The the Vermont title loophole works because the state of Vermont is a non-titling jurisdiction, and several states are, from my understanding, are non-title jurisdictions. So I'm wondering what makes Vermont unique. But this means that they give registrations instead of titles for vehicles older than 15 years. For that reason, the registration provided is a valid document that can be used in other states to exchange for a title. So I'll get a title immediately without having to wait for any of the other BS processes as long as I have a bill of sale. So for those lost titles, this could be a very quick process to get that title in your hand. Um,
yeah,
I'm gonna
I,
do it. I'm gonna try it, and if it works, then I'm gonna do all sorts of content on that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh,
I think I mean, I don't know that this would, like, I don't know that California would work for anybody outside of California. But if you're in California, you bought something, doesn't have a title, or it's out of state or anything like that, as long as there's, and most of the time, even if the car's been sitting long enough and it's fallen off the system, um, you could get a title for it. Usually, the biggest hang up here is somebody will stop, like a car will break down, it'll just sit
uh-huh.
and it's in the system, and then they won't pay the non-op on it, and it accrues like back fees year after year after year.
Yeah, yeah,
Which,
yeah.
I have a truck like this. I paid $400 for the truck. It's a parts truck basically, but it has like $1,500 of back fees on it. It's like,
Oh
it's a
shit.
$400 truck.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I justify dropping another 1,500 bucks to make it legit? At some point, that truck's probably going to become worth more money, and it'll probably be worth doing that. But for now, it's like, well, I'm just going to leave it in its like purgatory state, not put it in my name, and just let it
Yeah.
sit there. And if I need it for parts, it's the parts are coming off of it.
That kind of happened with the Dart, because with the Dart, the guy who painted it, this is my old Dart that I got rid of. The guy who painted it ended up selling it, but not transferring not only the title, but he didn't even release interest. The people I bought it from bought it for a school project for their daughter or something crazy.
Okay.
And they never did any type of paperwork at all. They
Yeah.
didn't even have a bill of sale. But they wrote a bill of sale to me, and they wrote a letter, like a legit, they wrote a letter
Yeah.
explaining the situation. I took that to one of my local Mopar people
Uh-huh.
that works at the office, and they just pushed it right through. And I was like, now these people aren't gonna, because I already had the deal done. And I was like, it's not my responsibility. The state can go after them for any back fees. But I was like, I kind of like the people I bought it from. I really don't want to screw them over. They're not
Yeah.
going to get any back fees or anything for this, are they? And they're like, as long as everything's clean, you got a bill of sale, you got their names, you got the previous owner's name. Because I tried tracking him down to ask him what was he thinking when he painted that car, but
Yeah.
they let it go through, and I got the title. Um, so
So we had my brother-in-law has a 69 Bronco,
okay,
and he passed away, so my wife inherited it. So we have no paperwork on the thing. It's just sitting in the yard basically. I had to go to the in and out place that handles the DMV stuff. I
mhm.
basically just explained everything to him, like, here's our situation. We have no pink slip. It was his truck. You know, hasn't been in the system for well over 20 years. Blah blah blah. We want to get it into my wife's name.
Yeah.
And so he was able to, I can't remember all the exact paperwork. You know, I think we had to fill out some sort of statement of facts on it, but they had to come out. He came out and did a Vin verification on it. And we were able to get all the paperwork we needed for that. Because I was concerned, because I thought once we were starting to do all of this, my brother-in-law, you know, my wife and his brother, was like, oh, I don't think when he bought that thing, I don't think he ever paid the guy off. Like, he never got a pink slip because he like paid him some money and he was supposed to make payments, and then he never finished making the payments, so he never got the pink slip. And I thought, oh shit, you know, and this is many, many years ago. Now 69 Broncos are they've gone up in value a lot over the last few years, right?
Yeah,
like
a lot.
If I was I was thinking, well, because we have lien sales, right? You could do a lien sale on a vehicle. Like, so if somebody abandoned a car in your yard, you can lien sale it. And I thought, well, that's fine. You know, the truck's been sitting here for like well over 20 years, like 30, 35 years, right? So I'll just do a lien sale on it, and I'll say, hey, I'm charging, you know, whatever, $50 a month, you know, it's gonna add up to this huge, enormous, this big number. And if they get a notice, they're going to say, well, I'm not going to pay, you know, $50,000 to get this thing back. Like, fuck you guys keep it, right? But it doesn't work that way. There's a cap. So for lien sale, I could charge $500 a day, but it caps out at something like $1,500. So once you get to the $1,500 mark, you can't go any higher. You can't charge any more money for the vehicle being in your yard. Then I'm like, well, shit, man. If we have to send a notice and they get something, $1,500, who wouldn't pay $1,500 to get a '69 Bronco? You know,
yeah, no kidding,
right?
That's
So
a deal.
Yeah, so I was kind of nervous about the whole thing, but we were able to not do that because I didn't really want to send any kind of notification to any previous owner, you know, and then have him be like, yeah, I just scored. My old truck just popped up and it's only going to cost me $1,500 to get it back. You know? So,
oh man, that'd be bad.
Yeah, it'd be terrible, but we're all good. It's all squared away. So
that's cool, man.
No
Anthony, did I say something about the car? I don't remember saying anything that would give it away. Actually, I do now remember what I said that could possibly give it away. I'm going to go ahead and remain tight-lipped, but I will say that it is not a Superbird. I will say that. It's not a Superbird.
Right.
And it's not something that I would overlook at a car show or something like that. I will say it's not a 75 Roadrunner. I'll tell you that right now. But that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't even know if it's a Roadrunner. I just said it had a cool horn. That doesn't mean it's a Roadrunner. And in fact, the car that I'm buying doesn't even have a horn. I found that out today. I have a couple laying around though that might work, so we'll see. It is. I don't know if it's an unpopular Roadrunner, but it's definitely not like the mainstream Roadrunners that we all love. Definitely not a 68 through 70. So I guess that only leaves a few options then, huh? If anybody can guess the year, obviously the car is pretty obvious by now. The year and the engine and transmission in this car, then I'll send you a T-shirt.
All right, Chris, you've been drinking a little bit. You sure want to?
Yeah, sure. It's a T-shirt.
You have all these guys. Plus, you kind of spilled the beans on what it is.
Only in this chat. Yeah, but see, that's why I had to throw in. Okay, if you can guess the engine and transmission too, everybody gets one guess. So if you want to take a shot at it, you can. But here's the thing. If you're right, if anybody takes a guess, PM me your address, and if you're right, I'll send you a T-shirt after I reveal the car. I'm not telling you shit. I did say that.
Sorry, putting something up there.
I definitely said beep beep. All horns go beep beep. Only a few of them go meep meep. Let's keep that in mind.
And you didn't say that, right?
That's funny. I'll make it easy for you. It is a Roadrunner. There you go. There you go. What year and what engine and transmission? Boom. There you go.
That's the alcohol. Like,
well, he's right. I already did say on a live that it had a cool horn, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. That probably gave it right away. Nope, wrong. You're definitely wrong on that one. I'll give you a hint. You got one thing right. There's your hint. That's it. That's all I'm giving. That's it. Let me just say this. It'll be a fun project, and it'll be special to me for what I'm using it for, because if I can prove that it can be done, then the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
If I fail, then I go, all right, well, I guess I was wrong on that, but hey, I still built a cool car for under 10 grand. So
hey, well, we're building a car for under $3,000. We got that.
I actually want to. I like that challenge. I actually want to lower the number because 10,000 is too. I mean, if I had an extra 8 grand, I could do some really cool things to this thing. So I'm gonna put it together with the intention to be under 10,000, and I hope it's really under 10,000 on the road, running and driving, where I'm like, all right, that's a pretty cool car for what it is.
Yeah,
that's the idea, and I think I'll make it up well under 10 grand.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking we might have to go back and reevaluate, because the $3,000 build off challenge that we're doing with sort of stock Mopars is it's like, man, it's a freaking tight budget. He's catching tons of flack on his end because he's got a 69 Dart convertible, and it's got a Magnum 318 in it, and so people are just like ripping them. Like, there's no way. Since when can you buy a convertible Dart for $2,000? Because that's what he paid for it, So I just watched his video today. He was explaining that it's like, yes, I did pay $2,000, and yes, it was recent. It was like a year or two ago. And he went through the whole story of buying it and stuff. And he says it does have some rust in it, so hence part of the reason why it was cheap. And then I think it had some title issues too, actually, which is what part of the reason why the price was lower. But I'm looking at it with our car. Nobody complained about our car, by the way. So apparently the $1,000 we paid for it is right in range.
That's what. Hey, I was talking with Dylan McCool about this. Sedans are the next. Eventually people are going to realize, okay, maybe we need to start taking the sedans more seriously, because they're not parts cars anymore, because there's no hard tops left, or whatever the case may be. I do agree with him to a certain extent, because there's a couple sedans that I've seen locally and on Craigslist for a decent amount of money, where I was like, that would be a really cool hot rod, because it's, one of them was had Kragers, and it was set up for drag racing. It was pretty cool. And then another one was set up for drag. There was a couple that were set up for drag racing that I thought were pretty cool, and they were sedans, and I was like, that's awesome. So sedans, wagons, I think I think it's all on the table now. When you start taking these Cudas, Roadrunners, Challengers, Chargers, Super Bs, and you start pricing them so far out of reality, for an average person like me, I'm not poor and I can't afford one of those cars. And it's almost disgusting. Like, okay, could I buy a project Charger for 20 grand? If I really wanted to, I probably could. But then I got to put X amount of dollars into it. Why would I do that when I can go have a shitload more fun? Because if I put $100,000 into a Charger, I'm going to be scared shitless to drive that thing anywhere or park it anywhere. And even at a show, I'm going to be that asshole's like, fuck, hey, can you step away from the car? I want to be the guy who's like, lean on that shit. like that's the kind of car I want. That's why I love ratty muscle cars. Dude, they're way fun.
I've got the freaking best content. Like this would make my channel explode. I'm gonna go ahead and give it away so
Oh
anybody
no.
sees it, they can try it. I can't do it right now, but I've got that 4-door I got from Mike Coffee, right? The 68 Dodge Coronet. This is my thought. Because you watch Birdsong, you could see how he fillets out a Charger, second gen Charger, right?
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, man, it's like floors, a firewall, frame rails, and then he puts like new roofs on it, and quarter panels, and doors, and all that shit. Dude, take that 4-door and freaking rip the doors off. The whole front clip comes off. I mean, it's a direct fit if you have a Charger front clip. And I'm saying like AMD shit. You could buy new fenders, hood. You could buy new doors, get new quarter panels, cut the post off, the center post for the rear doors, cut it out, and then put a quarter panel in there, cut the quarter panels off, put a Charger quarter panel, and convert your 68 4-door Coronet that it cost me, I think it was $300 plus rally wheels, set of rally wheels. So, I'm not sure what all that shit would cost from AMD. I would only need the quarter panels and like the Dutchman panel, maybe the roof. I've got doors. I could probably come up with fenders, that kind of stuff, and convert that thing into a freaking 68 or I'd do a 68 Charger because the Coronet's a 68. But man,
I hate to disappoint you, Johnny.
Yeah.
But somebody I know I've seen somebody who took a 4-door Coronet and converted it into a 2-door Charger. I swear I've seen something like that. And I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
I have to.
Wasn't me telling you? I might have told you this because my buddy John that paints.
Yeah.
He basically did that. He had bought somebody.
You telling me that?
It
might have been you.
Yeah, he had a 68. Well, somebody cut up a 68 Charger.
Okay.
And normally you'll back half a car. Well, they were going to tube chassis this thing. They cut the front half of the car out. So like from the firewall, like it had the cowl, but the firewall was gone. The rockers were still there, but the floors were cut out of it. So John had picked this thing up for $500 back in the day.
Oh wow!
He picked up a 68 Coronet 4-door, and he basically cut away the body from the 4-door. So he used the frame rails, the firewall, the inner fender well, and he brought the Charger and the 4-door together, and he basically brought the 68 Charger back to life. He said it was a ton of work, but he did it.
Okay, I just remembered who did it. Now let me see if I'm right or I could be wrong, because I think you and I have talked about this, or we talked about it in the group or something.
Right.
But Hodge Restorations, I saw do a conversion, and I swear it was a Coronet 4-door to a Charger. Or maybe it was just a Coronet to a Super B or something. I have to look now. Now you got me curious, because now oh, this is gonna piss me off now. I don't like misquoting information that I saw.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm not wrong. But anyways, the cool concept. I mean, I love the idea.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's very viable now because Chargers are so freaking out of reach. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it would cost pricing out all that sheet metal for the car, and it would definitely be a ton of work. But yeah. I mean, if you could, I'm almost even half tempted to just go like totally ratty on it and just like sheet metal screws, quarter panels onto the Coronet, just so that it looks like a ratty Charger from 20 feet away.
That's funny.
It'd be freaking hilarious.
Okay, now
here it says sedans. How about them station wagons? Love wagons. Yeah, love those wagons.
Wagons are badass, dude.
Yeah. Raker says, when I bought my 65 Cornet 500, it had been used as a parts car. Man, that's a common thing too, man. A bunch of cars that got parted out as parts cars, and
Yeah.
now enough time has passed. It's like you're kind of revisiting, like, you know what? Maybe we should turn that car or bring it back to life. Sometimes those parts cars are in better shape than
Yeah.
well, cars that have been through the gamut and rusted out.
That's what I was trying to avoid, was getting another parts car, because that's what the Challenger was.
Yeah.
As clean of a start as it would be for a full blown project, it was just way too much. That I would have to. I would have never met the goal of under 10,000 on the road running and driving without it being a complete unsafe pile of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
All
the,
right.
the car you're gonna get is
It's
it's pretty cool.
it's cool for what it is, but the thing that really sold me is that I don't have to. I mean, it's banged up and bruised up and stuff, but it doesn't have Flintstone floors. It's
Yeah.
got floors in it. It's solid when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Um, it's a it needs lower quarter patches. That's the extent of the rot, and then a little spot inside the trunk when you lift it up. Um, and other than that, it's just hammered. Like it, the body's got dents all over it, and that's fine. I don't
Yeah.
care. That's I prefer it that way, because then when it gets another one, I won't have to cry about it.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think that everything happened for a reason, and this is the perfect car for this premise that I'm talking. Oh, I think I found the car that they converted from a four-door. I'm on a mission right now, Johnny, because I swear to God, I've seen this done, and I was like, I didn't know you could do that. But I know that you and I have to. I know we've talked about putting a
I
Charger
think,
front end on something. I think it was a wagon or something like that. I know we talked about
oh
something.
well, that was John as well. John had
Okay,
a
okay. All
68
right.
that wagon, and he put a 68 Charger front clip on it, but he also took
Okay.
the short wagon door and he put a Charger skin over it, because the Charger is really wide. If you look at,
Yeah.
the fenders and the doors, like that top like the top edge of the Charger door, it's much wider than the Cornet. So
Hmm.
you have to change everything. He even split the quarter panel and was spreading the quarter panel out to match, the wide hips of a Charger.
Damn.
So, but he only got as far as the front door on one side. But man, it was like, dude, if they had made that car, it would be a really good looking station wagon.
I sometimes when you see those hodgepodge vehicles, you kind of wonder why somebody that was in the design department didn't go, hey, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, it's same thing with like in 71, or was it 70? Maybe I'm thinking of 72, when they had the satellite sedans and wagons. They could have had the Roadrunner, like the nice, chrome bumper wraparound grill type thing.
yeah.
And they didn't. They had a whole different front end. I'm like, if they would have just slapped the Roadrunner front end on this, they would have looked way better.
Oh, yeah,
That's just my opinion, but
yeah.
I
No, I
just don't
agree.
understand why they had to stray so far away. Um,
Well, I mean, on the flip side, I think they're trying to make the Roadrunner special,
sure, I
and
get it.
yeah, you're probably paying a higher dollar amount for a Roadrunner per se. So it's like
Yeah,
you
I guess
gotta,
if you got to pay the price to look cool, I guess. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly,
come on,
exactly.
guys, throw me a bone. Okay, I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't Hodges Restaurant. I swear that's gonna bother the hell out of me now. Because I thought I had seen it. I thought I saw them section off the four doors, but I could be wrong. If anybody watches this in the future and can tell me what shop did that, because I
Are
swear
you,
I've seen it with my eyes.
are you thinking about the 70 Cuda they converted into a four-door Cuda? Maybe.
No, I'm starting to think that it wasn't a Charger. I'm starting to think that it was a Coronet four door that they turned into a Super B. If
Okay.
that's possible. I know it was a four door converted to a two door, but I'm stopping looking at it. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I know Johnny has talked about something like that. I know for a fact we talked about the wagon. I know for a fact.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Hey Johnny, did you have any idea on my swinger's wheels? No. Did you shoot me an email or something, Ross? I don't remember anything about the wheels. Or I forgot. Maybe I did read it and forgot. Terry says, I can't sleep. Turn on YouTube looking for something to knock me out. And here you guys are. Now I'm completely awake. Might as well put the coffee on. Okay. I don't think I read it yet, Ross. So yeah, I don't read my emails that often. Raker says his car was a rolling shell. That's why I don't have a problem cutting it up into an altered wheelbase AFX.
that's cool.
I'll look at it, Ross. Yeah. I think it's kind of because the cars are starting to dry up, people get kind of cranky about cutting up cars and stuff these days. But I think sometimes it just makes sense. Like you were talking about the Charger, if the floors were really rusty on it, converting it into a V8 car and somewhat a tube chassis car, it's like, well, I think that's a cool thing to do. I don't think there's any sacrilege in taking something like that because honestly, it probably cost more trying to replace especially if you had to pay somebody else to do it, replace all the sheet metal,
There's a lot of it's the great thing about the internet is you're going to get all sorts of opinions. Some of them suck.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good. Some of them are really thought out and intelligent, and some are just somebody just bored. But
Right.
I just don't. The people that are saying it's going to be worth more restoring it, I've seen some that are restored unless Carroll Shelby owned the damn thing himself.
Yeah.
You ain't ever going to get your money out of it. I love the guys that are reaching out and saying shit about how I don't know the history of. And I'm like, I guess you're right. I know nothing about front wheel drive Mopars. You're absolutely right. But they also don't know the show clearly because I'm thinking to myself, you're really gonna go and give me a history lesson when the name of the place that you're commenting on is Talking Mopars podcast? You think the guy doesn't know anything? I understand.
You're one of those, muscle car guys from the late. You only concentrate on late 60s, early 70s.
I guess. I guess it's kind of funny, but
the 80s.
Yeah, I personally I think that like with this car I'm getting, I would love to have my dream car, which is a Superbird. Not going to realistically happen anytime soon, if at all. So, why would I go, all right, well, now I'm bummed I can't have that car. I'm just going to go hate on some people in some comments on Facebook. When I could go, you know what? I don't have to have a Superbird to have fun. I'm going to go have fun in something else that I'm going to beat the piss out of. I don't care that it's slow. It's got a V8. It's going to be loud. It's going to be kind of obnoxious the way I'm going to build it, just because I feel like I deserve to have something obnoxious. The truck is great. The truck is really mild, and it's got that cool factor with the lettering and stuff. Mr. Norm. I love talking to people about Mr. Norm, and they're like, "Who's Mr. Norm?" I'm like, "Oh, we got a fish on the lure." But I want something that when I look at cars, like you'll see some Facebook groups or pages will showcase pictures, literal pictures that were taken from a car in the 80s, in the 70s, and they're just face down, ass up.
Yeah.
And some of them have side pipes, but they all have way too big of wheels and tires in the back. Just way too wide. I need something like that in my life. If Joe Dirt wouldn't drive my car, I don't want it. So that's the car I'm going for. And I know that it's not everybody's style, but it's my style, and I'm going to do it.
It's funny. I mean, it was totally a genre in the 70s. I mean, as a kid, I remember seeing cars like that. Like that
Hell
was
yes.
that was cool. You know, you saw a
Yeah.
car all freaking stink bug and
Yeah.
big steamrollers in the back and some skinnies up front. It was like, and they're always loud, and it had like a scoop or something on the hood. Um, Street freakish, you know. And
I
I,
have been looking at some pro stock hoods, or not hoods, but hood scoops.
oh yeah,
Uh, I need a street machine in my life. I really do.
yeah.
I need something where people are like, "What the is that?"
So it's not something I like, right? In fact,
Yeah.
when I was in high school, which was late '80s, my buddy Eric and I, like, we would. There was still those cars were still rolling around. You know, there
Yeah.
were fewer numbers, but they were still out there, and you would always talk shit on those guys, right? It's
Yeah.
like, God, what the hell are you thinking? It's so hideous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometime later, I remember going down the freeway and some dude restored a Cougar, and it was, I mean, like beautiful, perfect paint job, big fatties in the back. The
Yeah.
car was jacked up really high because the tires would have ripped the quarter panels to pieces.
Yeah.
That stuck out
Yeah.
so far, right? And it was, I think he had ladder bars on it, and they were all chromed out and shit. Like total hideous. I'd never built
Yeah.
a car like that. I
Yeah.
would. I'm not sure I'd drive it, but when I saw it, I was like, dude, that is so freaking cool. It is awesome. And then I was down in San Diego also years ago, but not that long ago, like in the early 2000s, or maybe mid 2000s. Just we're cruising around. I can't remember where we were going, but what rolls up out of nowhere? A freaking lemon twist yellow 72 Dodge Charger, and it was all stink bugged out, you know, ass up in the air, rolling along, rumbling, and he had like these. It was almost like ram air scoops, but they were homemade and they were like square. It's like two of them on there, so those were hideous. But there was something cool about the car.
That's I want that reaction. That thing is fucking
Yeah.
hideous, but there's something cool about it.
There
Like,
is.
I want that reaction.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
the kind of person I am. I'll see something
Yeah.
like that and I'll be like, that is fucking hideous, but I love it for some reason.
Yeah. Well, and, you know,
I like
I think the funny cars are what drove that, because if you look at the funny cars from that era, like we'll say early to mid 70s funny cars, like that. If you look at funny cars, they started getting really long, and they kind of had that rake to it. And I think that's what triggered people. I want my car to look like those funny cars, you know. And bar none, dude, in my opinion, the best looking funny cars are like 71, 72 Chargers. Like those cars look badass as funny.
They were built for it. Long hoods, just
yeah.
definitely one of them. The nice thing is I don't know. I'm just gonna have fun with this car. I'm gonna build it like something that, as a kid, if I would have thought that is the coolest car I've ever seen, that's what I'm gonna build.
Yeah,
because I've got to make up for some lost time, because I'm when it comes to Mopars and stuff, I wasn't born in that era. If I was, I would have been that asshole with the. I would have. I know it. I would have had it slammed so far in the front and so high in the back. I'm like, how high are these? How tall are these shackles? Let me just get it all the way up. That's just I know it's bad, and I know people are going to talk shit. And guess what? I don't care, because this is what I want to do. And the fun part is you don't have to build your car like that. You can go buy another car and do it however you want. This is how I'm going to do my beater with a heater for less than $10,000. I'm actually hoping it comes in around $7,000. That would be nice. But it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah!
Every guess was wrong, by the way. So let me just put that out there.
Get everybody caught up.
Yeah, I had to go up and look at what the two guesses were. Unfortunately, you were wrong, but that's okay. Thanks for playing.
When are you going to go pick this thing up?
It really depends. So I'm really pissed off right now. So my Durango is fully capable of towing it. And the last Saturday, my wife and I get in it, and I had auto started it, and we're taking my daughter somewhere or whatever, and I'm buckling my daughter in, and my wife goes, "What's that?" And I
Oh,
was listening, and the Durango was idling like it was misfiring, and I was like, "You've
oh,
got to be shitting me." And the check engine light was on. I got in it,
uh,
hit the gas, and not like revving it. I just hit the gas to see, and I could feel it stumbling, and I was like, "Shit." So I shut it off, and I've had a weird check engine light that comes on and off, and I think it's the something to do with the fuel system, like a vapor canister or some shit, because
mm.
it's got the capless fuel door that you just pop open, and it's just the door seals the thing.
Yeah, my
Um,
wife's truck's like that.
yeah, I'll fill my car up, and every once in a while, the check engine light will go on, and I'll pop that thing, and I'll shut it, and it'll be fine.
Do
So I
you
sus
when you top off, do you keep clicking and get that extra few drops in there?
No,
Make
I
sure.
don't think so. What I do is when it clicks off, I'm that cheapskate that'll hold it like I'll tip the thing up and I'll like take the hose and I'll jiggle it. I'll jiggle it to get the last few drops, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's an extra 200 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Okay, because I
but
I had a friend that had a 300C, and
uh-huh.
he he was saying, "Man, dude, my car is like every time I get gas, right afterwards, it starts cutting out on me." And I'm like, "Really?" And then later on, he figured out that you can't when it clicks off, you have to stop. If you overfill it, the fuel goes through the vent line or something, and it hits some sort of sensor, and it makes the car like flutter or some shit like that at idle or some shit like that, like
Yeah.
it's cutting out. But he
Huh.
says so now when it clicks off the first time, he's like he doesn't feel it anymore, and it stopped doing it. So it's only when he tops the car off.
That is interesting because every time I'm telling you, I pull it out just a little bit and then I jiggle it. So the last couple drops go.
Is it
Uh,
happening after you fill it?
yeah, yeah. I believe I filled up on Saturday or on Friday night, and on Saturday morning it happened. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm gonna look into that, but I didn't want to go because the plan is it's across the state. So what I'll do is I'll just get up really early in the morning, take the Durango over, rent a U-Haul, put it on a U-Haul, bring it back, and drop the U-Haul off back over here. It's like 120 bucks to rent a U-Haul for 3 days. I'm only going to need it for one day, so hopefully I can sweet talk the people and be like, I barely used it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but like I said, the deal's pretty much done. I'm not backing out of it now. Not that I would want to. Um, but
How far
I
is he from you?
on the other side of the state, basically. So roughly 4 hours or so. So it'll
Oh,
be a good portion of the day. That's why I got to leave early, just so that I'm not. And you got to go over a mountain pass and shit. And this is Washington's such a weird state where the weather can turn on you in an instant. So I got to be a little bit careful. But the Durango's got all-wheel drive. It's got a trailer brake. I'm not worried about that thing at all. And I've got here's you want to know the biggest problem is I have a bunch of people that I told about the car, and they all said, "Oh, I'll go with you." And I said, "Oh yeah, sure." I told too many people, and I'm like, "I don't have that many seats," and I can tell like now that's going to be a problem. First come, first serve. If you want to go, I guess you can be part of the adventure. I guess.
right.
Um, if I had a little bit more money, I was going to throw it out to one of you guys and be like, "Hey, somebody come out and film this shit. Help me."
Yeah.
But unfortunately, now I'm going to be almost broke again because I have to stash most of the rest of the money for travel this year. Um,
Right. Yeah, we've got a
but
lot of things coming up.
it'll be worth it. I'm really excited for Vegas, dude. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun, dude. I'm gonna I'm ready this time. This time I got the GoPro. I know how to use it somewhat. I have a couple questions for you, Johnny, because I know
Okay.
you're a pro.
I
Um,
don't know about a pro, but
but
I've used them.
dude, the Hellcat, dude, we cannot miss the Hellcat challenge, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna go with the title of world's fastest Hellcat, and we're gonna be right there for it.
Yeah.
I am excited. I didn't realize how close those two cars were. You're talking about tenths of a second, tenths of a mile an hour. It's gonna be amazing. And after I got off the phone with Kevin, I was like, look, I hope you don't mind. I didn't pry too hard into, the current setup of the car because I know this is a serious competition. You want to win.
Mm.
And he thanked me and he said when it's over, he'd be willing to come back on the show and tell all the secrets. I was like, all right. And yeah. So I'm really excited to see how fast this car is going to go because they're trying to get into the fives, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, that is insane, dude. Damn.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. A couple little surprises. I know I'm really excited about that rally up into the mountains. That'll be fun. Hopefully, it'll be a lot of cool cars. I don't know how many people are registered. I haven't asked or anything like that, so we'll see. But it's going to be a good time. I'm hoping. I'm hoping this event is huge. Um, I guess they're going to do a live auction. Hemmings has got something going on with a live auction. They're going to auction off a muscle car or something. I know that for the stock categories of muscle cars, the winners will get a crazy award and they'll automatically be entered into the muscle car and Corvette Nationals McCacken. They'll get a spot in there. So there's some things that they're pulling out that are going to be really fun. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good time. This
Well,
time I'm
dude,
not gonna let you disappear into the hotel room just to edit videos this time because we're staying on Fremont Street. So if anybody wants to join us, we'll be on Fremont Street, at least for part of the night.
yeah. Well, it'd be nice to be able to just walk back to the hotel and
Yes, not have to
crash.
drive and just
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that'll be fun. Raker said, Chris, if you're gonna build a street freak, it's definitely gonna need a tunnel ramp sticking on the hood. I'd be a liar if I said I can't give too many details because I'll give away some stuff. But I have been looking for a tunnel ram, and I realized really quick that I'm probably not going to be able to find one. And if I do, it's going to be way too damn expensive.
Jed's probably got one. He's got a bunch of
Yeah,
tunnel rams.
probably. You know what I found today on OfferUp? Slotted mags. Uh,
Oh, nice.
I think the guy had two. He either had 2 or 4 15x9s, but he also, I think he had 4 15x9s and 2 15x11 slotted mags, originals. But he can't tell me what bolt pattern they are, so I'm automatically assuming Chevy. But it's $100 or best offer. I'm going out there just to check them out because I'm pretty sure I could flip them.
Oh yeah, just buy them, dude. You might
15
get
by
lucky.
11.
Ford Mopar, you're good.
Yeah. They're not unilug. They're direct drilled. So if they're for a Ford, I'm gonna take a look at his driveway when I get there and see what kind of projects he got. But for $100, as long as they're not bent or anything, it's a deal.
Yeah.
I'll go to the swap meet and sell them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Raker says Jed has a ton of ram. Has a ton of rams. He does. Gee, I wonder if it's for a small block or a big block that you need.
Yeah, I wonder too. I mean, weird. Could I have a really weird car and it just has a Hemi in it? No, that'd be awesome. Dude. 67 Hemi, Keith Black Hemi, posted on a local ad. I believe it was Craigslist. It could have been Marketplace too. $4,500. Of course, I'm like, click, cracked block. I'm like, cool, coffee table, sweet. Like, I was really disappointed. I was like, 4,500.
Yeah,
What
kind of a
am I
pricey
gonna?
coffee table, huh?
Yeah, what am I gonna do with a cracked block? Even if it was a $4,500 Hemi, I'd be sitting on it for so long to get the money together to build the damn thing.
Right.
God, that's a dream though. I'd love to have that. A big block with the tunnel ram would be awesome. I need to figure out. I can't say that actually. That'll give away some stuff. Never mind. Forget it. It's going to be a fun project, and I hope everybody, when people see it, I hope people go, "Okay, I get why he got that one. I get why he got that car." I'm also excited to see the hate. I can't wait to see the hate. It's going to be fun. Why'd you get that ugly piece of shit? Like it's gonna be a lot of fun. No matter what, it'll create some good content. I'm sure I can come up with a couple funny 30-second reels that'll rile up the crowd.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna be that car that just keeps giving too. So when you get to that street freak level, people are gonna be pissed that you didn't make it, original, go back to stock. And then there's gonna be people that love it. So, yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
It'll be fun, and whatever is done to it can be changed back. So
Yeah.
Cry me a river, haters.
Right.
And I don't even know where the man. I don't even know what. Aside from having some fun with it, I don't know what's going to be. I might sell it. Who knows? I don't. I don't. I have no idea what's going to be of the car. I just want to have some fun with it.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be great. I mean, especially if the car does really well content wise and becomes somewhat famous,
Mm,
I think it'd be pretty awesome to buy something or own something like that that's got some sort of story behind
yeah.
it or history behind it. It'd be the equivalent of, like, let's say, I mean, like Freiberger, I know he sold a couple of cars off, and people bought them they were on the TV show. It's like,
Mm,
man, how cool is it to sit at a car show and talk about how that car that you just drove in
yeah.
used to be on Roadkill, episode whatever.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Johnny. If you had the money and the opportunity, would you buy General Mayhem?
So, like, if I won the lottery and money's no object,
If money isn't an option, you have an opportunity to buy the car and you have the means to do it. Would you do it or would you let it go?
no, hands down, I would buy it back. Yeah.
Damn right you would.
Fuck yeah. I'd buy it
Yeah.
back in a heartbeat. I mean, I like it. The way it's
Yeah.
built right now, I love how it's
Mhm.
built. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what? If that car had the Hellcat motor in it, I at least wouldn't want it as much as I would want it now. Like,
Blake, if you're listening, you better turn it off now. So
yeah, turn the volume down, Blake. Yeah, dude, I love the throwback on it. I love the
yeah.
440.
Yeah.
And the car kind of returned to its original roots, and on a higher
Mhm.
level, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Birdsong freaking went through that car and replaced all that sheet metal
Yeah.
on it. It's like freaking, it's a nice car. And then for them to kind of leave it all ratty on
Yeah.
the outside, it's like that car got like almost a full restoration when it comes to sheet metal replacement. And
It's
instead, Freiberger was texting me. He goes, "What did you use for the black spray paint? Like, what brand did you use to spray paint the quarter panels and stuff?" Right? He was asking me that, and I
oh,
go,
that's nice.
like, dude, I grabbed every can of black I had for that car, and
That's hilarious.
I had primer, I had paint, I had flat,
Oh,
I had satin, I had
yeah.
shiny. I mean, I sprayed everything I had, and it worked out because I think I was out. I was completely out of black by the time I put the fender and the hood on it, which is why they're still
Yeah.
blue and red.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's funny how things just play out just right, like it just works. So
You know what's fun? The funniest thing from my aspect of General Mayhem was how disappointing it was when they put the Hellcat in it. I've never been that may be the only vehicle I've ever seen a Hellcat in it where I was like, I don't know, I would have left it I would have left it the other way. Uh that is one car that just didn't I don't know. I may be one of few. We may be a couple of few that believe that it should have always been just a budget, as budget as a 68 Charger can be,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
But
I think. I mean, you were kind of talking when we were having the volume or the microphone issues.
mm,
You were talking about, like corporate, kind of them dictating what you can or can't do or say,
yeah.
and I think that's a classic example of where that car went way off the rails because it was like, I'm sure Dodge showed up with a briefcase full of money and was just shoving it in Freiberger's face. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to put a Hellcat, here's a free engine, make it 700 horse. Here's a briefcase full of money. Just make it happen. You kind of, it's hard to say no to that. But
The
then
thing Go ahead.
you see the car becomes adultered. It's like it's no
Mm,
longer what it was intended to be or what its origins were. It's just gone. It's completely off the rails, and it's not something the average guy can afford to do. Which the
no.
whole premise of Roadkill is sort of like, having fun with stuff that is subpar and on the cheap, you know?
You could definitely tell that corporate had some influence there. But you know what? I was also disappointed. I watched part of the video when they were tearing all that shit out, and I was like, God, what a shitty job that was done to that car.
Yeah.
I was not impressed. And there's no, I guess that swap kind of happened before a lot of the companies that were making clean swaps happen. So they
Yeah.
basically just they stripped the charger of all the stuff it needed to run and just threw that all in the charger that needed to run.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
was it
the
was a relief that they turned it back.
yeah, absolutely. You know, the whole cutting the tail lights out, putting charger the modern charger tail lights in to get it to work was just like beyond ridiculous, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some things there where it's just like, okay, somebody needs to figure this out. I'm so excited for what Blake's doing. I can't say anything and I won't. But he's got some really cool stuff. If you guys don't follow DIY Hemi, you guys got to follow DIY Hemi. There's some
Yeah.
cool stuff coming down the line, especially even if you're a 440 guy like Johnny and you hate Gen 3 Hemis. It's still fun to see what these guys are coming up with because there's a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. Um, um, I'm pretty stoked about it. It'll be a lot of fun to watch to see what happens.
Yeah.
A 90 Joe, did you say a 90 Ram Charger for 1400? Both are small blocks. What kind of shape is that Ram Charger in for 1400? Because you can't touch a Ram Charger out here that isn't rotting into the ground for less than 1400. Oh, I see Joe. I see Joe's gonna make it out to Vegas too. That's awesome. Raker, I'm glad you feel the same way. I didn't want to be the one to say it publicly, but I'll say it publicly.
Yeah.
It looked like crap. I was like, God, what do they do to that thing? They know it's going to be on TV, right?
That's TV magic, man. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing about TV is it does not show details. And then they were slamming that thing together so fast. They weren't, it wasn't like if you took your car into a fab shop and said hook it up and put a nice cage in it, and
Yeah.
they were careful about what the original part of the car was,
Mm.
but he says not terrible, but some rot.
That's what every Mopar guy says when he sees a shit box. And not terrible, but it's some rot. I know that's how I've described pure shit boxes before.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because we're Mopar guys and we see things a little bit differently than other people.
We
That's
see
funny. Not bad, but some rot. That's funny. That'd be a great t-shirt. That's a great quote, dude. I might have to send you a t-shirt that says that shit. Something rot. Some of us are so optimistic. You go out there and the whole bottom half of the door's gone. You're like, oh, yeah, not terrible. Some rot, kicking it, dust, rust, dust falling out of the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that's funny.
It's funny we put the blinders on when we want something. That's why you're supposed to bring a friend that doesn't give a shit. He's not vested in it, and he could give you a true assessment.
Yeah, but then you're driving home after he talks you out of it and you're pissed. And you're pissed. He's like, hey, so you want to get lunch? And you're like, no, I'm really not hungry right now. Just go home.
Yeah.
Why is I cannot see the last comment that Raker posted up. For some reason, my taskbar isn't shutting. What did he say?
He says, hey, Chris, do you know the history of the Mr. Norm funny cars?
Not exactly. No. The supercharger, I know that somebody somewhere on I believe it was Facebook is going around when people post any picture of Mr. Norm's funny car, especially the supercharger. God, what is his name? I think he's just trolling. But he wants to make it a point that Mr. Norm was not the driver of any of those cars, and we know that.
Yeah.
But I don't know the history of either of those cars because I think he had the supercharger, and then I believe there was another. I think it was a Challenger. I could be wrong.
Joe says, actually, I just looked at it again and it has no rot.
Holy shit,
Cordova
really?
is the one with the rot.
Interesting.
There you go. Rust free. That's another t-shirt.
No title. That'd be a great t-shirt. No title.
Dude,
No title, but can get it.
all your greatest creative work
Dude.
comes out on the Johnny Mopar live.
Dude, that's genius. Just going and making t-shirts of all the things that you always see on classified ads.
Yeah, you always see or
That's
you always
genius.
hear. I know
Yeah.
what you got.
Yeah. Ran when parked. God,
Yeah,
you could have a whole line.
yeah, you could.
You could have a
Dude,
whole
people
line
would
of
buy
shirts.
that. People
I
would
think
buy
so.
that shit.
That's funny. We're gonna have a talk, Johnny. We're gonna have to talk.
All right,
We'll come
let's
up with some stuff for
let's
MCM. MCM.
okay, let's
That'll
do
be
it.
fun. That's a great idea. Shit. Raker, tell me a little bit of history about the Mr. Norm funny cars that I don't know. Because I don't know very, to be honest, I don't know very much about it. I know some details about the dealership and stuff, but not about his racing program that was going on through Grant Spalding.
Can you not? You can't see his posts when it's on the bottom, right?
No, hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, cool. Is you say you used to? Is he not with us anymore? That was kind of a long time ago. There was another driver, I thought, and I thought his name was super familiar. I would have to look it up. Yeah, what am I even talking about? He had multiple funny cars because wasn't Mr. Norm was there when they started doing the altered wheelbases, right? Wasn't he part of that whole movement?
Oh man, I don't know.
I need to look more into the history of the drag racing stuff because I was looking more into the history of Mr. Norm as it pertained to the dealership,
Right.
but I don't know too much about the drag racing campaign other than he knew that the cliche race on Sunday, sell on Monday type thing.
Right. Oh wow.
Gary Dyer.
See if I can hold this up correctly.
That's it for $1,400.
It is.
Oh my god, that's a quick flip. That is a quick flip. Wow.
Well, he said it was an auction, so that's probably the starting price.
When does it say? Look, see if it ends anytime soon, Johnny.
It says, well, the high bid right now is $1,400.
That's crazy.
Well, he just sent me a screenshot, so I can't look at anything. It doesn't have a date that I can see.
Yes, Mr. Norgal. Roger Lindemann's 65 altered wheel racing, Gary Dyer. Okay, I see. It ends today. Damn. All right. Well, I won't step on your toes, Joe. You get that bad boy. Yeah, that thing was that. It looked exceptionally clean. I've seen worse. I've seen worse. There's something about those like first funny cars that I like. I don't know.
Well,
There's something just savage about that.
I think the first funny car was actually a Ford. I can't remember if it was like a Galaxy or something like that, but it was actually a metal body. The first flopper was a metal body, yeah. And then right after that, they started going to the fiberglass. And I think those Mr. Norm's Chargers, like the '68 style Charger,
Yeah.
the body on them was really super narrow.
Wow, Johnny, you'd be surprised. I don't know if this is accurate. The first funny cars were super stock 64 Dodge 330 Max wedges, named the Dodge Chargers. Creative.
Oh.
Prepared at the behest of Don Beebe by Dragmasters Jim Nelson and Dode Martin. Let me see here. I don't know how true that is because I also see here Landy.
Yeah. Oh, I know all the AFX cars were considered funny cars. So
Yeah, that's where things gets a little
floppers.
weird.
The first
Yeah.
flopper was a Ford.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are talking about just altered wheelbase cars.
Yeah.
Because didn't it start because somebody walked by and was like, "Oh, that's a funny looking car," and they're like, "Oh, yeah, funny car."
Yep.
Interesting. Joe, I fully expect a report on what kind of condition that Ram Charger is really in after you buy it and win the auction.
He said he's not getting. He's got to finish the 66 Charger. Bought two 440s and a 727 that he's going to be rebuilding. Sweet.
There you go, Johnny. 65 Mercury Comet.
That actually bell.
You're right.
65 Mercury.
That's close enough. Joe's not getting it. Okay, I guess. Where's Joe at? California?
Yeah, he's San Diego.
Oh, looks like Johnny's closest. Easy flip, Johnny. Easy flip. Oh, hey, you know who probably would? I don't know. He might be a little bit in over his head right now with other stuff he's got to flip. But Mike Coffey might want a cheap Ram Charger, dude. Who else is in Southern California that is interested in a cheap Ram Charger? $1,400, and it's a California Ram Charger. It's probably pretty solid.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's a good deal. What time is it, dude?
It's time. It's 2 in the morning. So
Johnny's had me on for 4 hours, longer than I've ever had him.
I'm making up for lost time, man.
No, that was a lot of fun, dude.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and cut it. So, Chris, where can they find you?
Right here.
There you go.
All my socials at Talking Mopars Podcast. You can go to talkingmopars.com to listen to the show. And I always have my friends on with me, such as Johnny Mopar.
Yeah.
And I have all sorts of different guests, and sometimes it's just me by myself. Good times as always. So thanks for having me on, Johnny. I'm honored to be the first person on the show.
Yes. I got that one.
Yeah.
Got it out of the way, man.
Numero uno.
Yeah, numero uno.
Johnny decided to go against the grain. You know, normally you save the best for last, but he decided, you know what, let's start off on the best foot we can.
Yeah. Well, I like the topic conversations. Start on that, and then we just kind of went off the rails and just started talking about everything after that, which is
when
fine.
You said topic, I was like, you can try. I was like, we'll try, dude. Especially with a guy like me, dude.
Yeah.
See ya. All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to that eventually, but I got some other stuff.
Cool. All right, Raker, we'll catch you later. Everybody else in there, Joe, Ross, Raker, you diehards, we will we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.
End it there. Cool. If you want to find me, I'm on Facebook, on YouTube. It's Johnny Mopar. And we also have the Motley Crew of Mopars on Facebook, where it's kind of a collection of all of us guys. We got Matt and Chris from Mad Fro Monroe in there, and we've got Blake and Mike from DIY Hemi, and of course Chris and myself. So we're all throwing kind of random things out there, so you got to get a variety from all of us.
It's going to be a lot of fun when we start getting organized content. You're going to see some stuff that you probably don't see from. See, there's like little cliques in all these different communities, and with MCM, we've decided to kind of band together and create some cool one-off content that you can consume in a unique way, and that's what we're going to be working on in 2022, and it should be a lot of fun. Bunch of stuff in the pipeline, so stay tuned.
Yes, and with that, good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Have a good weekend.